And we're live. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Real Spill Wednesdays on the Truth Comes to Light podcast. I'm your host, Jay Coven, and welcome to Real Spill Wednesdays. For those of y'all that are new on Real Spill Wednesdays, we talk about life topics and motivational quotes. Please be sure to check out my previous Real Spill Wednesdays on the channel, and also be sure to tune in my full podcast episodes. I done just dropped a couple of weeks ago. It's coming on 2 weeks since I done dropped a podcast episode, and I will be dropping one hopefully by the time this Real Spill comes out this upcoming Wednesday. I kind of already got some ideas. We're just getting all the details of every single topic that we are talking about together before I release it and talk about those topics to y'all. So be sure to stay tuned for that podcast episode. We done made it to over 100 videos. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for supporting the channel, subscribing, liking, viewing, commenting, doing everything y'all can to support me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of those social media platforms. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. We're going to keep on being consistent, and y'all keep on joining me by subscribing, liking, commenting, turning on post notifications so you get the latest updates on when I post a Real Spill Wednesday or a podcast episode. And like I said, for y'all supporting me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, be sure to follow me on those social media platforms at The Truth Comes to Light podcast, because who knows, anything that I do post on one of those sites could be basically like a foreshadow on what I will be talking about in the next podcast episode. But if you don't follow any one of those pages, you will not know what could potentially be coming. Or we could just have just some conversations on some things that are going on that potentially don't make it on the podcast that I do make, and we could just talk about it on there and on the social media platforms. But like I said, nonetheless, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that have tuned in to the podcast or Real Spill, whichever one y'all are interested in, where we talk about life topics and motivational quotes on the Real Spill Wednesdays, and on the podcast we talk about news from all over the world, the music industry, and more. But without further ado, let's get straight into this Real Spill Wednesday. I kind of changed up the intro a little bit. I kind of like it. But let's get straight into it. So with this Real Spill Wednesday, this topic will be going on my podcast. It will be one of my topics on my podcast. I will be going a little bit deeper in my podcast, but nonetheless, I'm not going to take away what I talk about in this Real Spill in no way, shape, or form. The same feelings that I have about this topic will be the same feelings that I do have on the podcast when I do end up talking about it. And it's crazy. So basically, we're going to look at this video, and it's a woman rejects Cheesecake Factory date for the first time. Now, I'm going to show y'all just a little bit of it, not too much, but just enough for y'all to get the idea on what's basically going on, because I ended up stumbling upon it off of TikTok, and this TikTok has been going viral everywhere. Everyone has been having their opinion on it, and I just saw it, and I just couldn't believe what was just going on. Now, let's get straight into it so that way y'all can understand what we're going to be talking about on this Real Spill Wednesday.
Woo.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
You're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
yes, let's talk about it. About it.
so you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least, you know.
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
Again.
we're not there
yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made
There's nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Well, look at my plan where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right, right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late, and like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment. And that is not possible.
And we're just going to stop it right there. Now, on the full podcast, I'm going to let it play out all the way until the end. But y'all basically get the idea. Basically, they went on a first date. The dude ended up taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she obviously had an issue with that. Basically saying how she looks and her standards, a person like her should never be going to the Cheesecake Factory, which doesn't even make no sense, and literally embarrassed this dude across social media. And she thought that everything with that is okay. Everything about that is okay. Pointing the camera to the dude and just making it seem like it's just an okay thing. Like, that was just, the whole thing was just crazy. And the point that I'm trying to make is, bro, women be having all these high worths and they ain't even worth, like, none of that. Like, anything that they feel as though that they're supposed to be worth, they have this high worth, they're supposed to go to these steak 48s and all these rich spots in Houston or just anywhere. They're not even worth that at all. So the ones that you do end up meeting, the good females, keep them. Like, being straight honest with you, you got to keep the ones that, okay, what if that's all he had? What if the only thing bro had was enough money to go to the Cheesecake Factory? You got some female out there that'll be like, hey, like, this ain't for me. My worth and how I look, and she looked like she done had a couple burgers. She looked like she done had a couple steaks. You feel what I'm saying? She looked like someone that isn't in the right physical standpoint. You feel what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. But they have these high worths mainly because of what they see on social media. It has to be because of social media, because in last generations, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the money at all being the main focal point on me going somewhere versus not going somewhere based upon someone not having the money to do it. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't like that back then, but was it as much as it is now? No. So the ones that you do meet, the good girls that you do meet, because what if that was the only thing that he had? Only had enough to go to the Cheesecake Factory. You got some females out there that'll literally just take that as something that ain't for them. They worth is a little bit too high. They pride is too high to go to a chain restaurant, which she ended up saying for her to even walk in the Cheesecake Factory. But you got the girls that'll literally just appreciate the simple fact that he took time. He took the opportunity to plan everything, make reservations to go to the Cheesecake Factory, come pick her up, go to the Cheesecake Factory, have a good time potentially, and just leave it at that. You got some women that'll just appreciate the thought. It's about the thought that matters. It's not about the money in regards to what could potentially make somebody happy. If dollar signs is all that you are looking for in a relationship, then there ain't no point in being in no relationship, because that is what's going to keep you single. If you just worrying about what somebody has in their pockets versus if you just appreciate a person for who they are, their character, their efforts, and their consistency in any form in regards to being in a relationship, and you just take that and you cherish that and you truly love them for who they are in regards to what they do for you, it shouldn't matter about the dollar signs. And that's the thing with males. Like, the main reason on why we scared to get in a relationship too is the simple fact we have to think, if we don't have anything, is that female gonna be there to ride through thick and thin? There's hardly any females out there that'll ride when the wheels fall off and you broke and you down bad. Who's gonna be there for you? Is that gonna be anybody? Is that gonna be your female who you believe is the one to you? But when that moment ends up coming, which we don't want, how are they gonna react? How are they gonna react when us dudes don't have money? Because males having no money is way different than females having no money. It's a way different feeling. We feel as though it's the end of the world. We're the ones that's supposed to provide, protect, be the breadwinners. That's how society paints it. But with females, they can be broke, but the male is supposed to have those duties naturally when they try and get in a relationship, and the female isn't to an extent. So with us dudes being broke and us having $0, it's like it's gonna hit us harder, because now it's like we feel as though we can't provide, we can't do anything to support. And with that, you're gonna have girls where their true colors come out and they're only with you for the money. It's hardly any girls that are gonna be there when the wheels fall off. It's hardly gonna be girls out there when you have $0, when you don't have nothing. Would you still be right by my side? So dudes, if you do talk to a female or get into a relationship and you truly see that no matter what happens and the wheels fall off and she there when them wheels is sparking, keep that one. Because if you don't keep that one, you can obviously tell in this generation, it's a cold world on figuring out who's actually going to be there for you, what woman is going to be down for you, and which woman is only going to be there for the money. And there's a lot of females that are there for the money. There's a lot of females that feel as though their worth is too high to do certain things. And that's so fucked up. It puts more on us trying to choose which one to mess with, number one, but truly try and get to the best possible self in regards to what we look like, how our pockets are looking, and everything, just to even try and talk to some of these girls. Because there be broke females that won't talk to another dude that's broke. They want to talk to a dude that has money. Why do broke females want to talk to a dude that has money? Like, I know the reason. I'm not saying that. But if you broke, you can't have these standards that are so high and feel as though you too big to go to the Cheesecake Factory for a first date. What if that's all the dude has? What if that's all the money that he has? But you don't want to look at it like that. You want to look at it as a you thing and a pride thing. That the Cheesecake Factory is a chain restaurant. Nothing's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory if you don't have it. Me personally, would I go to the Cheesecake Factory for a first date? That's probably not going to be me. That's probably not going to be someone else. That may be someone else. That may be someone else's cup of tea. The principle of the situation is that you are in that moment. That's what ended up happening. It happened for a reason. But for dudes, like I said, when you do reach $0 and you down to your last and you literally panicking, you don't know what to do, look at that woman that you do have and see if she does ride for you. And if she does ride for you for thick and thin, keep that girl. Because I'm telling you right now, it's a cold world out here. Cold world out here. The generation has been just prioritizing in these high worths, in these standards, these unnecessary standards. So the ones that do ride for you, that truly care for you, keep those around you. The ones that will ride for you when the wheels fall off, when they sparking, when they gone, that's going to be the one that you're going to want. But if you think with your dick, it's going to get you in a lot of bad things. And then you're going to try and look for the same person that will actually ride for you, and it's going to be way harder to find it. The whole thing is this. These worths that women do have don't equivalent to what they should be having. When a male is down, be the one to ride for him. Be the one to care for him. Be the one to just be there, support in any way possible. Just like this woman had standards, the male had standards. He not finna take her on a first date to an exotic restaurant. That's just him. But let's say he didn't have it. As a male, when we don't have it, pay attention to that woman that you do talk to and see if she does ride. Make sure they're there for you. It's not about the money, the materialistic things. It's not about none of that, because all that materialistic shit can be gone at any point in time. But when times do get hard and you down to your last, you don't know what to do, pay attention to who's going to be that one that'll be down no matter what the situation is. No matter what the situation is, she's down. That's a keeper. That's for sure a keeper to have. And it's the same way with girls to boys. It's the same way. Figure out who's going to be that one that's going to ride for you through thick and thin. Don't have that standard. Everybody's going to have a standard, but in regards to the little things, the effort, the consistency, that's what matters. It's not about the money. It's not about a dollar sign. It's not about how much somebody make. It shouldn't be like that in this generation. But as sad as it is, 9 times out of 10, that's how it is with females. They're going to look at them dollar signs. And that dollar signs is going to attract them more than that personality. It just is. And it's a cold world. So like I said, that person that you do end up stumbling upon, that truly like you for you and will be there no matter what the situation is, keep them. Because it's a cold world out here. And I'll go fully in detail with my personal opinion on the whole situation, even though I kind of did on here just a little bit, but I'm going to go way in detail on the full podcast episode. So please be sure to stay tuned for that. So with that in mind, that is the end of Real Spill Wednesdays. If you enjoyed this Real Spill, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you get the latest updates on when I post a Real Spill Wednesday or a podcast episode. Be sure to follow me on IG, TikTok, and Twitter at The Truth Comes to Light Podcast. And with that in mind, I love y'all, and y'all have a nice rest of y'all night.